for joining us. We have a lot of people here today. Take it all in. As you know, it's Monday night.
Cupcakes and Wine is live now.
I'm Andrea.
I'm Taylor.
And we have some special guests.
Special guests.
Special.
But just hold up. I got to interrupt them. I've been waiting for this for a long time. My son made this right here.
I love it.
We just want to let everybody know that we are Cupcakes and Wine's biggest fans.
Excuse me. In case you didn't know,
Oh, excuse me.
above my name, Liz Vieira.
Where?
On Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Oh, excuse me.
Get it right.
So I don't know if you guys saw the bloopers. We posted a few bloopers.
This is going to be quite a show.
This is what happens during bloopers. You know, it looks really easy when we're on here, but like it's really hot right now. And we're sweating.
Yeah, the clothes will be coming off shortly.
Taylor's clothes are coming off shortly. Brian, you know, is keeping his appeal up right now. He's very serious.
We'll see how long that lasts.
I'm a little red because I'm not going to lie. This is Cupcakes and Wine. And there was quite a few bottles of wine out there, and I was sampling them. And I look like I came from Miami. I'm not going to lie.
We turned into a winery real quick.
We did. We've been trying some reds, some whites, some how the cupcakes pair with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has anyone had the cupcakes?
Not yet.
Lucas did, and he said it was delicious.
I had one too. I had a red velvet one before.
Yeah, Lucas's favorite is the red velvet.
Yes, Lucas.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually had a few people call us out on a couple shows not having cupcakes. So
Yes.
we will not do that anymore, you guys.
We thank you for helping us gain weight.
Yeah. So remember like a few shows ago, we were like, we're trying to lose weight.
We're not talking about that.
Because obviously it hasn't happened.
We did just get Burger King.
And chicken nuggets.
I was down 7 pounds.
Was being the key word here.
I may be up again.
Happy Monday to you too, Sandra.
So today, we're getting off track as always.
All right, we'll stay focused as best we can. But it's Monday and there's
It's
wine
Monday.
and things get weird.
So we do have Brian and Liz here.
Which
they
you-
had announced. Yeah, go ahead.
Which you guys all know are our sponsors. You lead
Yes.
sponsors.
Thank you guys for having so much faith in us.
Absolutely.
Right.
How can we not?
And what I want to say that I really enjoy about sponsoring this show is that both Andrea and Taylor go out of their way. They're giving these small businesses a voice in which they wouldn't be able to be heard normally. And they're supporting a lot of local business. So I would recommend to all my friends in the small business community to step up their game, maybe sponsor the show and come out and be a guest so that way they can tell viewers what might be important about their business and maybe what's important to support what's going on in their lives, the viewers anyway, and how maybe they could save money or make their life better. And I appreciate all the viewers that are going to be out there tonight.
We do too. Thank you guys for bringing, you know, your side of the viewers to our side.
Welcome.
And feel free for everyone to comment, question, talk to us.
But only
Yeah.
say nice things, please.
Only
I
nice
don't know
things.
if there's anything else to say to the two of you.
I don't think we could come up with anything mean to say about you guys.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I don't think so.
We got a pretty cool crowd out there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think so. I
thank
think
you.
so.
We're a little tight in here, but you know, that's okay. It's not hot in here or anything.
But I get to be close to Andrea, so I'm pretty lucky tonight. Even though I have, you know,
And here
the
we
lovely
go.
Liz on the side of me.
This is
Right,
his
you-
wife, by the way.
You got all the ladies in here.
Hell yeah.
You're surrounded by women.
You are.
Guys, just to let you know, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Next guy's gonna be like, "When's my show?"
Here come the sponsors, baby.
So
Alright.
on that note, I mean, I'm very excited about this show.
I am too.
I am. Any questions on any automotive repairs? If you just want to talk to Brian.
Yeah. I feel like we might go off topic a little bit.
Yeah.
We do take Venmo.
Do you really?
We do, really?
Wow.
Yes, we do.
That's good.
I'll interrupt them for a second. But believe it or not, sometimes Liz does know as much as I do. I'd hate to admit that in a crowd of men.
Wow.
But on this show, I will admit that.
I did get he did. I mean, I did get taught by the best.
I did teach her, and it
He
took a
did
lot of
teach
hours,
me.
but she does know a lot about cars.
I do enjoy it.
As
I
someone
really
who
do.
sits in the office as much as I
Sorry.
do, Liz knows her shit.
Thank you.
She
Thank
gives
you.
it back to these men who come in here all day long, to the best of them. It's actually really great to watch.
I do like to be right.
And I've actually worked side by side with a lot of female technicians who can pound for pound give a guy a hard time. So don't ever underestimate yourself, ladies.
You
Oh.
don't say.
Ryan.
You don't. Did you hear that?
But only
Good
when
to know.
Andrea
True,
walks
true.
in.
So,
Sorry.
automotive repairs. On that note,
Oh.
Taylor.
On that note.
Yeah. So we have questions, but we're going to refrain from our questions because they probably don't even make sense in their girl questions.
But that's okay.
That's okay. But we want to know how you guys started, how long you've been in the business. And I'm sure a lot of our viewers right now that are watching, they're located on Earl Street, by the way, right?
Yes.
Right.
88 Earl.
In that particular question, that is something that's really near and dear to me. I actually went to Diamond as a young boy trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I met up with John Miranda, who recently had passed away, and he's a huge part of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And another gentleman who passed away. He was actually a detective for the Fall River Police Department. His name was Michael Pleiss. They led me in a direction of automotive. The reason why I chose automotive is the electronics department of Diamond actually told me I wasn't smart enough to be in electronics. So when I saw John Miranda hooking up, excuse me, an automotive electronics oscilloscope to a vehicle, I saw, wow, this is just like being a doctor, because you could actually see a heart wave. It looks just like a heart wave if you ever had a...
Wait, can I interrupt you?
Go ahead.
Can you say that word again?
Oscilloscope.
Oh, an oscilloscope.
Oscilloscope?
An oscilloscope.
An oscilloscope?
I'm a wicked geek, and I'm not gonna
Oscilloscope.
lie.
The geek is coming out, ladies,
Right,
tonight.
the car geek of me is coming out.
It's hot, huh?
It's getting real.
But what's so cool is when I seen that, I was so drawn. I was like, you know something, this is something I really want to do with my life. It's very technologically advanced. Things are gonna get better. They're gonna grow. But little did I know it would ever get as sophisticated as it is now. But with that said, is I also had many mentors in my shop: Lenny Levesque, John Giaccaro, Mr. Cloutier, and also Ray Phoenix, who's been a huge part of my life. And a lot of these guys still come and visit me in my business
They
today.
do.
And I'm so super proud of that. And I've been blessed to where I've been on the board of New Bedford Volk, and I've been on the board of Automotive Diamond program. So if anybody was to ask me, what is the thing that you're proudest of that you've accomplished in your life, I will say graduating from Diamond. I honestly can say there is not a greater thing than graduating from Diamond. If you learned one subject, just one, right?
Ladies, one.
And I
How
speak
many?
with my hands
One.
all
How
the
many
time.
subjects, Brian?
One.
One.
If you learn one thing while you're there, you can make money. You'll be successful. You know, it's just something that's going to carry on with the rest of your life. And whenever you see your people on your social media, you're going to say, wow, look at what these people are doing from Diamond Automotive. But to go back to being focused on the automotive thing, so I went to Universal Technical Institute. I learned about automotive and diesel repair. That was 2 years. So if you combine that with Diamond, that was 6 years total, because at that time we went to what they would call shop tech twice a day. So it was almost half the school day. And then couple that with, I was blessed to where Mercedes-Benz Elite program just started. I went to California for quite a few months. I was trained by them, and I was adopted by one of the Mercedes-Benz dealerships, and they gave me the opportunity to go ahead. So that's basically my background, and I'll stop it at that, because I want the lovely Liz to explain what her background was.
My background, I don't have one.
But that's where it all starts, isn't it?
Well, my background has always been customer service. I absolutely adore talking to people. I love getting to know them. I love to like knowing about them. And this one complains that I talk too much. So if any of my customers I hear, please tell him I don't talk too much.
Well, we should definitely post a poll later
Yeah.
on tonight.
Could we?
Who talks more, Brian or Liz?
Oh, I like this.
Yes.
Ladies, stick to the girls, okay?
And just remember, Liz works in the office, so just remember that when you
That's who you
answer.
see
Who
first.
writes you a bill, people?
That's who gives you the invoice. Brian has no idea what's going
Brian
on.
has
Sits in
no
your
words
cars.
right now.
No, I actually do. So my teacher from high school, that was one of his famous sayings was like, listen, be careful for the person in the automotive department because they have power of the pencil. That was
It's
one thing he
true.
always said.
I don't use pencil. I
Pen.
use pen because it's not
Well, technically, you use
erasable.
a keyboard.
Did you hear that?
Not
She uses pen.
erasable.
So, people, when you're putting those answers later, we want to see Liz on there, not Brian.
So as Brian was saying, we are owners of Viera Auto Group and Amy's Auto Repair. We do specialize in Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, but we do the Toyotas, the Hondas. Every European customer has a regular car. It's fine, people, regular cars.
Yeah, they take my Chevy every week.
Brian over time has been, not because he's my husband, but he is very good at what he does, but we do dabble in the whole sales also, you know, and what's good for us is we can fix it and we can sell it, and he's very proud of his work, because I have to tell you again, not because he is my husband, but when we sell a car, it's very little to no problems. We don't want you to come back with a problem, honestly. And I'm not saying, oh my God, we're perfect. No, we're not. No, we're not. But at the end of the day, we'll be the first ones to fix what we did wrong at the end of the day, which is very little to none, by the way.
But speaking about things that
Probably, actually. She's not kidding.
Only when I fix it.
but speaking about things that we're proud of, we are very, very proud, or I am
Yeah.
especially proud of the people that trust us.
Mhm.
And that to me is worth who I am as a person. When somebody says that they trust me, or a whole family that
Yeah.
trusts me, believe me, that is the greatest compliment that I could ever receive in
Yeah.
my life.
And how many customers do we have that we honestly feel they're not even our customers, they are our friends, our family. Like, it's just become this big family, you know, and that's an amazing achievement. Amazing.
But one thing I gotta say that I love that I love about my business is that, you
Oh
know,
Lord, here we go.
the,
ahead, tell them, tell them.
the world is evolving.
Tell them.
And you know, if you take a good look around, there are more single moms
As we
out
all
there.
know.
There are also more single moms, and there are more people that are divorced now than ever before in history.
Yes.
But the one thing I especially love is that we have quite a few women that come in and say, you know what? What I love about you is I boss you around and you do what I need to be done. And that's just how it is. And that's our relationship. And I got to say, I absolutely love that.
I must say, my you get like the dad approval too. My dad will always be, when he saw the oil,
Oh yeah.
he was like, just bring it to Brian. He'll got you covered, because he knows I'm not gonna get ripped off by you. Guys. It's
Thank
happened so
you.
many. You bring a young girl, and
Thank
you know
you.
me. I'm like, I don't know.
Right,
Take my
right.
keys.
Never tell a mechanic you don't know.
Yeah, but I can tell you.
Yeah.
They're
No,
actually,
it's
they're
okay.
honest
Honestly,
people.
no.
Yeah.
Because we will physically listen. Before I met Brian, I have been scammed. Which, by the way, we're going to be talking about scams.
I
okay?
can't wait to get to that
Okay.
stuff.
That's so funny.
Because before I met Brian, here's a very good example. I bought a brand new Jeep. He knows. I actually leased it, which, in my opinion, is the worst thing you could ever do.
Well,
But to each his own. To
I'm
each
gonna
his own.
I'm gonna interrupt her there
See, this is where
because
we
it
agree
all
to disagree.
it all
Get comfortable,
It
guys.
it all
person.
depends on what suits you.
Yes.
So I'm gonna correct her on that.
All
It all
right, all
depends
right.
on what suits you.
But in my personal experience, before I met Brian, I bought a brand new Jeep. I love that Jeep, my 04 Jeep Grand Cherokee that he totaled, by the way. So I worked so hard for that car, so hard. But anyway, long story. I went to the dealer for my first oil change. And I didn't know that when you're under warranty, you don't have to go back to the dealer. It is not regulated by anyone that you will not stay under warranty. As long as you have your receipt stating when your oil change was done and at what mileage, there's no way they can void your warranty at all, unless you do modifications to your vehicle. But I went into the dealership. I got my first oil change. They said, hey, this is a brand new car. You should stick to the 30-point inspection, which Liz said, okay. My dad didn't go with me because he was very mad because he didn't want me to buy this car, but I bought it anyway.
It's usually how it goes.
Okay.
And Liz's dad is Portuguese.
Yes,
Let's put that out there.
yes,
Say
yes.
less.
And the other thing I want to mention is, even to this day, I'm always intrigued by these stories.
It's true, but I
Because
went in.
me as a mechanic, I have a different perspective and an outlook on these things.
You
Yeah.
don't say.
But but I love listening. Even sometimes when we go out to eat, I'll listen to people and I can hear about their mechanic experience or their car purchase experience. And I'm always so intrigued by that because I want to see what their opinion of it is. But go ahead, Liz. I interrupted you.
Liz, go ahead.
What else is there? Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay.
This is what my Saturday looks like, guys, by the way.
God help us. But at the end of the day, I went in for my first oil change. They did their 30-point inspection, and all I needed was an oil change, 3,000 miles on the dot. I promise you, brand new. I bought it. It was still wrapped, the seats. $354.84. I'll never forget that number. And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need that shit at all. You don't. You don't. You absolutely don't. It's a brand new car. It's a brand new car. Do you know how many times I brought it back for a vibration that I had and my alarm going off and they said everything was fine? Do you know who had to figure it out? Was when I met him. He actually had to physically argue. It's the truth. You had to physically argue with them to fix it.
What is true though is nowadays that a lot of dealerships are taking advantage of consumers and charging them way more than what they should be spending on a simple oil change. But they come with this new thing that how they explain it that makes it worth that much. But we'll get into that a little bit later. We don't want to get too crazy in depth.
Too
with that
complicated.
right now.
Oh, I didn't know if you were done.
I know. I have a lot to say.
I was
Go ahead, say it.
pausing. I was giving you the floor.
Go ahead, Brian. You've got the floor.
I've got the floor. Okay.
Yeah.
We have questions, but it seems like you guys are covering a lot, so we're gonna wait till the end.
Yeah, I think people are also loving to hear all these deals
Yeah.
and ways. But wait, can I take something back real quick? You said before, how long have you guys been married?
Brian, how long have we been married? Because I can never remember.
Yeah, she can never remember.
I really
but
can't.
We've been married for exactly 15 years.
Go ahead. Ask the next question. How do we work together? Pick and choose your battles. people.
Well, you have that door that kind of shuts you away from him. Like,
Yeah,
do you
you
just
kinda-
lock it like.
You're in your own
I
spot.
can. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we have our moments. It's as a couple, you're going to have to. We work together. We live together. We do everything together. But at the end of the day, he's going to roll his eyes. I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. Okay? Because if I did, I'd be at another place. Okay?
That's cool.
But wait, do you guys drive in together in the morning and later?
No, because he's going to the gym early.
We try not to.
Yeah.
we need our space.
Yes,
Yeah, I
once in
figured.
a while.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I
Like when
figured.
this Sunday, she was like, well, I'm going out with my lady friends. I'm like, Lucas, me and you time, bro.
You wanted to go. You're in denial.
Well, don't get me wrong.
You're
If
like,
Yeah.
I want to go to brunch.
who
Yes.
doesn't want to go with,
I agree.
especially her friends? They all look like you and Taylor. So who doesn't want to be in a big group of females
Liz,
like
God
that?
bless you.
Obviously.
They are hot.
Liz is a saint.
That's so funny.
It's okay. He works hard, so it's okay.
But so what Liz was talking about, she was talking about actually scams.
Mhm.
So that leads us to our next point. like what are the scams out there in the automotive industry? So I have a couple that I'd like to go over. So the biggest one that she was talking about is she was talking about how much money was costing her for her maintenance at the dealership. So they are charging you guys a lot of money for a lot of stuff that they're just checking. They have a checklist. They present a checklist to you, and it has a check.
It looks very pretty.
And 95% of the time,
It's a lot.
they're just checking a box, and that's all they're doing. They, there's nothing really extravagant about that. So the biggest thing is that you don't have to go to the dealership for maintenance. And a lot of people, even my close friends, still don't understand that. So, you have a brand new vehicle, you don't have to go to the dealership for maintenance.
Just keep your receipts. That's
right.
it. And if you lose them, call me.
So what Liz is trying to touch on is there's actually a federal law called the Magnuson and Morse Act. And what that does is that protects you in the event that
Wait, can we
they're
say that
interrupting
again?
me here, and I have wicked ADD.
Magnuson, right?
So I'm going to interrupt them again. And that's a Magnuson and Morse Act.
Yes.
So what that is, that's a federal law that protects you. So if your vehicle is under warranty and you have service records proving that your vehicle was serviced other than the dealership, that there's no way that they can deny you for that warranty claim. But a lot of people are under the impression because you buy the car, they bring you directly to the service department and say, "Hey, Andrea is the sexiest
6
maintenance."
feet, Ryan, 6 feet.
Sorry. She is the nicest person in our maintenance department here. And every time you need a maintenance, you need to see her. And if you don't, we're going to bounce your warranty. And that's just going to be the way it goes. And, at any time you can switch seats with Taylor if you like.
I'm perfectly fine.
That's just
Very interested in this.
I'm being mad awkward on that one.
It's just Ryan. We've known each other forever. It's fine.
So another thing that we see a lot that kind of drives us nuts is that a lot of these dealerships, they're selling you a used car or a new car, and they're telling you, "Hey, we got this extra maintenance package that we offer, and if you pay this amount of money, we're going to cover all the maintenance on your car." Well, I'm going to break this down to you as a dealership tech myself. There's nothing wrong with dealerships, and I do not want to discount dealerships, and I do not want to discount.
They're not all bad.
Right. And I do not want to discount the knowledge of a dealership tech.
Yes.
I'm not here to say that because I once was. But what I am going to forewarn you is that, listen, these maintenance packages, they're a lot of money. They are a lot of money. And when you come in for a maintenance, they're not going to do what you think they're going to do. They're going to do the basic bones minimum. So if you're paying an extra $2,500 or $3,000 for your vehicle just to get that maintenance package, they might only give you $1,500 worth or $800 worth. They're going to tell their techs that, "Hey, look, we're going to do the basic minimum, keep this car on the road." So I just want to let the people know that. So that's something that we see every day. We see it every day, and we just want to tell people about that.
What about recalls, Brian? What do we do about recalls?
I don't do them.
No. Time out. No.
The conversation
Actually,
that's about to happen after the show is going to be intense.
No, it's not. Actually, Andrea is correct.
Oh,
Andrea
Did you
is
hear
correct.
that?
She is correct.
Wait, you don't? What do you mean?
Toast me.
Wait, I just got one.
No, recalls are all bad.
They're not all bad, but here's the thing with recalls that a lot of people don't understand. So let's say
Don't do them. That's so funny.
And they don't stop sending mail either about
that's
it.
right. That's
Okay,
right.
good
Because
point. And here's
there's
the
a good point to
There's a
that.
good point to that.
There's a good point to that.
Ooh, this is juicy.
It is.
Is an
No.
airbag important?
Yeah.
It will just blow in your face.
They are.
The first thing that pulls in her face.
So
I'm sorry, it slipped.
Get that girl more.
All
bone.
right.
It was like chicken
What I
nuggets.
deal with, guys.
Oh.
Recalls.
All right, guys.
man.
No, tell me.
So why Andrea is actually correct. Okay,
Explain.
is this reason? Let's say if they come out tomorrow with a ball joint recall. We'll use that as a perfect example. So ball joints actually should develop play over time. If you're lucky, there's certain vehicles they never get that. So what that means is that, you know, your tire and your suspension basically they get a lot of play. It's not the safest thing for your car, and it happens over time no matter what.
Mhm.
So with that said, is let's say you go in for that safety recall and your car is a 2020, because now we have the 2021 models out, and they go, well, Andrea, you know, we took your car in, we performed that safety recall, and you don't need those ball joints. Well, they put in their system that
They
we checked out
perform.
Andrea's car, we performed the safety recall.
Mhm.
She didn't need that service at this time. So what does that do? That checks off a check mark in their system. So now, further down the road, when your ball joints let go, the
I see where we're
dealership
going
will
with
put
this.
into their system that the safety recall was already performed.
When it never was.
Oh.
Right, when it never was.
Correct.
Oh, that's grimy.
And what
Mhm.
happens with that, unfortunately, is that manufacturers will say, hey, we're taking a big loss on this. So if it actually took an hour, they're only going to pay the technician 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And the technicians, you know, they got a mouth to feed, and they're going to say, hey, it checks out. We'll have to address this another time. Because unfortunately, they have to prove that it is bad.
Mhm.
So I don't
Absolutely.
need that recall then.
Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't.
Okay,
I'm
It's like
on
a
it,
teeter-totter.
It is.
So if I get a
it gets
recall
technical.
mail, can I just bring it to you?
Yeah, so what you could do is if your car is brand new and it's under warranty, yeah, you should bring it in for a recall. But what I would suggest is if you do, keep that paperwork, because if further down the road something does happen, you should go back to that manufacturer and say, hey, look, my car does have this issue now. You checked it out. It was good at the time,
But it's bad now.
but it's bad now. And that is leading into another topic, which we're going to talk about on different ways to save money on your vehicle,
Yeah.
because
But-
that's very important.
But to answer Taylor's question is, we cannot perform recalls.
Mhm.
We can't do it. But let's say, hey, I got this recall about my ball joints as an example. Can you check them for me?
Yeah.
He can physically check it and be like, hey, your ball joints are fine. And he'll say, hey, if I were you, I wouldn't go in.
So
Because
they
they're
don't
gonna-
make that mark. that-
Exactly.
That's what
exactly.
And going back to recalls is that in certain cases, if there's a recall and they find that, like, okay, we're having a lot of transmission difficulties, or maybe that there's something weird with the engine. In some cases, if your vehicle doesn't experience that difficulty, it could make it worse.
Yeah.
So let's say if there was a recall on transmissions letting go, and you're getting 30 miles to the gallon, let's just say, for argument's
Is
sake.
that good?
That's really good. Not too many vehicles actually get that. But let's say you are achieving 30 or higher per mile. And now they say, well, to prevent this damage from happening to your transmission, we're going to put this software in it. It's part of the recall, and it's going to prevent your transmission from blowing up. Well, now you go from 30 miles to the gallon to 24.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe you might even
Oh.
experience that your transmission does,
It's slipping.
or it just doesn't ship the
Yeah.
same, and you, or maybe even in one case we had a small local business owner, and he brought his vehicle in for a safety recall, and it ended up leading to this ordeal where it took him months. They put a new engine computer in, they couldn't program the keys to his car, so he instead of having multiple keys for his car, which he originally had, only had one. So now if he lost that key, it was a big problem. So there's so many pros and cons to everything.
Mhm.
Cars are so technical, and I'm not trying to make it boring, but that's just the reality of things.
Before we move on, Trisha Mello just said, "Oh my God, Brian found my drivetrain was going to fall out of my car after the dealer sent me home."
Yeah, that's a
See?
true story.
That's a true story.
That's a true story. And she went through
Thank
great.
you, Trisha. Good example.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
She actually
Thank
went
you.
through great lengths. She
Yeah,
bought us a
she did.
Cadillac.
Yeah, they
She went there
said
multiple times.
they said there was nothing wrong and that she should buy new tires.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I put that car on the lift, it was missing multiple bolts out of the
I don't know how they missed
out
it.
of the drive shaft that were loose.
They
But
didn't
They didn't even look.
but
No.
but
I don't think
again,
so.
we can't discount dealer text. The guy said, "Listen, if for some reason you do come up with something, contact us back."
Yeah.
And I contacted him back, and they took care of her.
It sucks because the dealer is only as good as their technician. They're the ones
Right.
representing them.
Right.
And that's why it sucks, because when you're a smaller business, again, support small businesses. And I'm not saying come to us, but if you find a
Come to
good
them.
technician, thank you, Andrea. But if you do find a good technician or mechanic, whatever it may be, and again, one of our topics is why you should find a local place to go to is if he gets to know your vehicle and you are producing a problem, he knows what's been replaced, what's been going on, what hasn't been going on. And that makes his life so much easier as into figuring out what can be wrong with it. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. But how the automotive industry is so closely related to the medical industry, where
Yes.
basically I had an eye doctor that I was visiting, and every time I went there, I had a different eye doctor that met with me, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. There's this guy's name on the door, and every time I get here, there's a different eye doctor that sees me. How are they going to ever know? And it's particularly in my job, I make my money off of visual.
Correct.
Okay, I have to visually inspect things and make sure that I can see right to make money. So I'll give her a plug. I met up with Dr. Centracchio, which I think she's unbelievable. I met up with her, and every time I go into her place, I get her. I don't get Dr. So-and-so
Yeah.
and Dr. blah, 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 blah. She knows my file. Yeah, you could relate this to a million things, but she gets my file, and I'm comfortable with her, and I trust her opinion. So further down the road, if there was an issue where she couldn't take care of me, or Dr. Campbell, which I love near and dear, he is my personal care doctor, I would say, hey, this isn't something that you do. Who could you refer me to? So I would take that advice.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, I have not a question. I remembered something that had happened. One of our mutual friends who had purchased a car this past summer,
Mm-hmm.
and he was moving out of state, so he just wanted
Oh yeah, I remember
Yep.
this now.
he
Yep.
Yeah.
wanted you to look over his car to make sure everything was okay before
He drove
thousands of
driving
miles.
back home.
And it was a good thing he did.
And it was
Yeah.
like 2 years old.
Yeah, I
2
think so.
years
2 or
old?
3
It was-
years
it was
old.
new.
Yeah,
But he had
it was
just-
relatively
yeah.
new. It was
Yeah.
But he had
relatively
just
new,
bought
yeah.
the car.
Yeah.
And the car was very sexy. It was a very sexy vehicle.
Yeah. But 2 or 3 years old, they sold him a car.
Yeah.
How he got an inspection sticker is beyond me, but those tires were so dry rotted and cracked, and he could have just drove to his
Mhm.
destination and blown a tire. It is true.
It is true.
It is
but,
true. Could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? I don't know.
But fortunately, the company was a decent company.
Yes. Again.
We reported to
Yes.
them that
And they took care of it. They did.
We reported to them not only where the tires were bad, but the rims were bent, and that
Yep.
if it wasn't addressed, it was going to be an ongoing issue. But the company was decent enough to say, "Hey,
We'll take care of it.
We'll take care
Yep.
of it. We know Brian. We trust his opinion. Let's go ahead and move ahead with this service." So, not everybody's a bad guy out there. You just got to keep your guard up.
Exactly. I'm gonna flip your paper over, okay?
Right. But there is one thing that I would like to talk about, though.
What?
So you just interrupted me.
My bad.
No.
Oh, okay. So one thing that's pretty cool is there is a website called Safercar.gov.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
And why I want to touch on this is that on every vehicle there is a thing called a VIN. Okay. And my dentist loves to bust my chops about this. I call it a VIN number.
It's not a VIN number?
It is a
I call it a VIN number,
I
but
thought
he
that's
is
what it
correct
is.
because a VIN,
just a
VIN,
VIN?
is a vehicle identification number.
Oh,
So
so it
there's
already
no
says.
need-
Oh, there's no
There's no
VIN
need
and
to
then
say
number.
number.
Hey, I did
But
that
I
too.
love him for that because he's another
He
guy
is
that's just a
correct.
super genius. But so there's this website called Safercar.gov, and if you go on there, you can actually research if there's any safety recalls on your vehicle. And the other thing that's really amazing about this website is that, let's say if Andrea or Taylor,
6 feet.
I can't stay that far from you guys. But let's say if Taylor was experiencing a problem with her Chevy and she was like, you know what? I think this is a bunch of baloney from Stop and Shop Deli. I stood in line, I pulled the ticket, but I just can't stand this right now. So,
Guys, I'm confused.
okay.
Baloney from
From
Stop and
Stop and
Shop
Shop
You pull the
Deli.
ticket, you get in line.
Baloney. The sliced bologna.
Yeah.
It was just a joke.
Okay, let's go like this. Ready?
Wow. Do you want another cupcake?
I like bologna.
Oh.
Are we talking about actual bologna?
Are you hungry?
Okay,
We
I could
just had
have said
freaking
chicken
Burger
breast.
King.
I'm always hungry. All right. You know what? I don't care about the bologna. Let's
All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
on.
This is-
Let's
all
not
right,
talk
we're
about food.
We're gonna move on. So with this Safercar.gov, believe it or
Anyways.
not, people, that
Freaking Andrea.
I had to take a bite of my cupcake. with that
that's
one.
And we
so
thought
funny.
Andrea was the smart one.
I'm just not smart with vehicles, as Brian and Liz know.
But
No,
we
she
make you
is.
know.
So I'm just gonna. Can I interrupt you?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Brian. Fiera. That is the one thing I will say, that when I leave with any type of repair, I actually do know what I'm talking about
I
when I
want
explain
you
to
to
people
understand.
what I had done.
We try, and that's part of being a decent shop. A decent shop will take the time and try to explain it to them.
Mhm.
Sometimes
And show you.
it's
I
just
know.
like when a doctor.
My messages from Liz are like this.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
like trying
right.
to explain it to me, and they're like, okay,
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to know, but I make her
I'm
know.
just gonna bring it.
There's certain things that you're gonna want an explanation for, and there's other times that you're gonna be like,
I
just
wanna
tell me
know.
what my bill
I
is, because
wanna
I
know.
really don't
I
care.
know.
So
in a
that's just gonna
Andrew
be how it
sends
is.
photos also. Like,
Yeah, we have.
We
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
That's an important part of it. And
Yeah.
actually, talking about that, we've actually updated our software, and we're trying to adapt. But all these things cost money. We're trying to adapt to where we can make it easier to show you like a picture or something like that. And
Mhm.
believe it or not, a lot of this stuff, and even with the big dealerships, they spend a lot of big money on these companies. And automotive, sometimes they're in the dinosaur ages.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
stuff that me and you and a friend could do very easily. They just don't leave that in the software. And if they do put it in the software, they're gonna make sure that the company's paid dearly for it.
Mhm.
So going back to the safercar.gov thing, the one thing I just wanted to express is that even if you don't have a recall, this is one thing that we found as a valuable tool. You can actually put on there, like let's say your axle broke off your car, or maybe your, I don't know, windshield fell out of your car while you were driving. If enough people go on there and report
complain.
this, you could actually get your repair for free. And not only that, another thing that's very important to keep in mind is that down the road, even if, let's say you paid me or Taylor paid me for a job, if something becomes a recall, you're entitled for a
To get some money
reimbursement.
back.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize that. And things like that, when they pop up in my mind, I go back and research it. And another thing that's very tough is that my data system only gets updated so often. So there are times where a customer will know quicker than I will if something is under recall. So it does help to do your research on certain things, you
But
know.
it's hard to keep up. Too.
It is a little hard to
Extremely
keep
hard.
up because these things are moving
So
rapidly.
fast.
They're
The
moving so
technology,
rapidly.
right? 'Cause
Yeah.
The technology keeps increasing.
And
Right,
it's getting
right.
worse.
And there's been times that I will mention too on the safercar.gov, we actually had one case where a customer actually got a partial reimbursement from a manufacturer for an issue.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. So we're always trying to look out for the customer and try to hope that, you know, if we see something that's a huge issue, if the manufacturer can pay for it and we don't have to charge, we're going to do that.
So true.
We do like your text messages though, but we do know when it's the rather long ones. That means
It's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
Sorry.
No.
Right,
I don't
right,
like
right.
those ever. I don't like to give bad news, but in my business, I'm nothing but bad news.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but I appreciate the honesty.
That-
I mean,
that-
you
that's the
you
problem
really do
with-
It's
look
hard.
out.
That's
It's
the
hard,
problem
and
when-
especially when we really get to know you, and like I said, when you guys become really good friends and family, it's so much harder.
And the other thing that
Mhm.
really sucks about my job, it's not like you go to the body shop or you go to the tint shop. When you get your car back, you're like, wow, it looks so much prettier. My job, you don't see.
You don't see pretty. You just
You
hope you
don't
don't hear
see.
anything.
But I feel it drive better. That's important.
Well, yes, that's important. Yes,
And
yes.
another thing that I really want to put out there tonight is that, listen, you can go anywhere to fix your car.
Yep.
You can go anywhere to purchase
Absolutely.
your vehicle. But at the end of the day, there's going to be these issues that arrive. Okay. And what it boils down to is, what does the company do for you when you have an issue? You know, that's the most important thing. The most important thing is that, okay, we've had this issue. Did they try to touch base with me? Did they try to fix this as fast as they could for me? So that's what it boils down to.
True. So what do you want to talk about now? Basic maintenance.
Basic maintenance 101
With Brian and Liz.
with Brian and Liz Vieira.
Let's see how long we can keep Brian talking. So, basic maintenance. The one more important things that you should do, battery. People, change your freaking oil in the filter. That's it. Man, it's so easy, but so important.
So that little teapot on the.
Oh, the teapot! Eric, the teapot. That means you're low on oil.
Oh, I now I understand.
Is that when you,
not a genie
Are you serious? No, you cannot perform wishes. no. Andrea, no. Your
Is
man
that-
will not come.
is that when you use a dipstick?
If you have one.
Yeah, a lot of
If
cars
you-
don't have dipsticks.
Yeah.
That's another
That
thing.
is true.
Do I have
It's
a dipstick
crazy.
in mine?
Yours does. But
Yes.
Yours old
Oh.
Taylor,
I
like
can't
mine.
believe there's some companies that you pay some big dollars for a car and
That don't have dipsticks.
they don't have a dipstick.
Yeah, because you need
Y-
again
y-
technology
You're
in order
dependent.
to do it.
You're dependent on electronics.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Wow.
So if you go to someone who doesn't have those electronics, it's really like a huge
Wow.
guessing game for them. It
And-
really is. Especially on BMWs. Oh my God, they're the worst.
So
They're the worst.
sticking to some basic maintenance. One thing that we see that people cost, you know, it ends up costing them a lot of money is that every 5 to 6 to 7 years, that's really pushing it. I have seen batteries as old as 9 years, which is almost remarkable. You know, a battery, if it's checked, it can leave you stranded, and it sucks because a
Mhm.
battery is always going to die in the wintertime. It's snowing or it's raining, it's dark. That's one of the main things. And she spoke about oil and filter. I still can't believe in the world that we live in with all these oil change commercials that
People still don't do them.
they still don't do
They
them.
don't do
And
them.
I want to blame some of the car manufacturers because they tell you, oh, 15,000 miles for an oil change. But it's like, that's just, that's in a lab. That's if a vehicle's on a dyno in a lab. But we still have to change engines because of this stuff. It's crazy. But what's another thing we see?
Well, to go back to the oil and filter thing, when you do an oil change, and I'm not talking at a speedy place or whatever, go to your local mechanic. Here's the reason why. Let them foresee, hey, you're going to need brakes in 3 months. Hey, these tires aren't looking that great. Maybe by next oil change, you're going to need it. Get yourself prepared for the next maintenance.
I
It's
did
easy
do
to
because I get in trouble for cutting people off. So
Somebody
know.
needs a cupcake.
which will yell at me for the next week. Everyone else. So I'm raising my hand, okay?
I like it. Glad you listen now.
Before I even met you guys, though, I did bring my car to a speedy oil
Yeah, yeah,
change
yeah.
place. They didn't even cap my oil thing on all the way. So
We've
I
seen it.
noticed all of a sudden I was
Oil
getting
is
like
everywhere.
smoke. Yeah, there was oil over. The smoke was actually burning on the end. I mean, the oil was actually burning
Yep.
on the engine.
Yep.
So all of a sudden my car's smoking, and I'm like, what the hell? I have somebody look at it. He's like, dude, your cap's just not even all the way on.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
not, and that was my lesson right there. I
These
will
things
never.
happen.
I
and
know,
wa-
but things small like that, like I would have never known.
Yeah.
no, I agree. And to be honest with you, not everything's 100% perfect, but we do. Myself and my team, and just like any other place, I'm sure they're trying their best, but there are places that they just don't care. They're just there from
Yeah.
Not
8
just
to
that, is
5,
those
and-
speedy places, they're under
just-
a time crunch. I swear to God, and Taylor and Andrea have been there. My oil changes, they're like half hour, 45 minutes. The guys are checking it out. We're dropping
Yeah.
the oil. And he is so anal about things that it
Yeah,
drives
checks
me.
everything.
There are things that there's no need. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if a customer comes in and your under panel that we have to take out and those stupid plastic clips don't match, this butt munch, right, takes them all out for free, people. And
Yeah,
puts in all new matching plastic clips. Do you know
Sure.
those things cost me $250 each times 16?
I have to interrupt you. Did you just say butt munch?
Yes! That's how, I'm not
I
just
haven't
saying,
heard
that's
that in
how,
forever.
but he won't charge for that, which is great. You know, it makes his life easier if the customer comes back because they have to switch
Yeah.
between tools and tools.
Unfortunately, in the automotive industry, there are a lot of things that go about that are uncharged. And,
Yeah.
and you know, people don't see that, but that's just the way of the business, and
Mm-hmm.
we just try our best because we don't want you driving along and being at 65 miles an hour
And you
on
leave
the
my
highway,
shop with broken under panel clips.
and all of a sudden you have a panel that's
Yeah,
dragging.
It's true. It
that's
doesn't
just-
look good. It
It
doesn't, look good.
It doesn't
So
look
he
good.
rather just fix it and be done with it.
Okay, so go back to the basic
Is
maintenance.
that why our cars always take longer than expected?
Well, because we tend to talk to you guys longer.
Yeah, I'm going. Hey, I'm going in between the
Talking. I
back.
get in trouble for that. Talking.
And I can't help myself. If there's somebody that's
Yeah.
in the office that
Brian's popping up between the
I
cars
really
like
like
a
it,
genie.
yeah. I'm back and forth, and
Yeah, he is.
I
he is.
wanna
He
talk to
tries.
people.
Of
Yeah.
course. We love talking, as you can see.
but okay. So back to the basic maintenance.
Basic 101.
Basic 101, do your tune-ups. Another thing is check your lights, especially with oil maintenances.
Mhm.
Do you want to get pulled over in the middle of the night after leaving a restaurant?
Definitely
a couple
not.
of glasses of
So
wine?
what she means is that there's a lot of times that we have clientele that comes in, and we try our best every single time to check your lights, your tail lights, your headlights. When we're doing an oil change, and man, that can cost you some money if you're getting pulled over
Oh yeah.
and getting a ticket just for your light being on. That is ridiculous. I totally disagree with that, but that's just the nature of the beast, and
It is.
that will never go away.
It is.
And some other things that she was going to mention about basic maintenance before I just cut her off is that we recommend, you know, tire rotations, obviously the brakes, the timing belts if your vehicle has that. But one thing we've been
Thank you.
seeing, bless you. One thing, and it's definitely not Corona.
Don't worry, guys, I'm good.
The one thing we've been noticing more and more, and I try to do this, if you come in for a headlight, that's all. I try to replace both of them, and I try to aim them because now it's getting darker sooner, right? Would you agree?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I try to aim your headlights, and
Yeah.
now that I'm getting older, older people always used to talk about I can't see at nighttime, and I used to be like,
It's all these stupid
I can
little
see
shit
everything, but now
that
that I'm getting
will
older, it's like whatever.
eventually just save you money, you know? But anyway, it is what it is. Hey, Brian, what's your favorite ways to save money?
Oh boy.
As
Taking
you can
notes.
see, we prepared ourselves.
Why do you guys? Let me ask you two a question.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna.
Can I keel over and get another glass of wine?
Yeah, I might
Thank
need
you.
one
I
too at this
appreciate
point.
that.
What do you guys think that cars are so expensive to fix? Go ahead.
Tell me.
The most expensive part?
No,
Yeah.
why do you guys
Why?
think cars are so expensive to fix?
Because finding the problem is
that is
true.
a
You're
major
right.
part of it.
Absolutely, Andrea.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So
100.
what Andrea is saying,
Depending on the situation.
she is
yeah.
100% right. The most expensive thing nowadays is finding the problem, and these problems could take hours and hours. They're not like the old cars; they take hours and hours to figure out what's
Because
wrong.
now you have to find the electrical.
So I gotta pick on Taylor a little bit.
Go
Taylor,
for it.
why do you think cars are so expensive? to
Because you
fix?
have to get to the problem. So, like, right, if there's something wrong with the inside, a certain part of the inside, you have to, like, get to the piece.
Hey, these girls are good. These girls are good. They are good. They are good.
Damn!
They are good.
I
gotta
did
admit
read.
that.
I did read
Impressed.
the.
I'm so impressed.
I did read the message.
No,
Okay.
no, she's right.
Damn.
So now that these cars are
She
being
does text messages.
So now that these cars are progressing, she's absolutely right. They are becoming.
It's the simple parts that get buried. Your starters, your alternators, sometimes your oil pans. Yes. But it's just one of those things that it's like car manufacturers at the end of the day, they're just building them stupid.
Right. They just want to make it where it's
Yeah.
quick to manufacture. And the problem is there's so much push to compete amongst car companies. They don't really care. Like back in the day,
Put your hands up.
they don't really care like back in the day if it's going to be easy
Okay.
to service
Can
or
I
how
use
long
this
it's going to last.
example? Volkswagen Touareg alternator. Pull the goddamn engine out. Volkswagen built a goddamn cradle specifically for replacing your alternator. 48 hours
Yeah,
for
it's
your
insane.
alternator.
It's insane.
Okay? I'm not bullshitting you. We had to do one.
Yeah, some of these things are afterthoughts.
It's ridiculous. There's no need for
With,
that.
with cars, there's engineering teams, and they sit together and
I know, I do.
they fight over where a part's going to go in a car. My friend's he actually works for a brand new car company that most people have never heard of, and they're going through this every single day. They fight over space in the vehicle and where the parts are going to go and how they're going to go there.
Batteries under your passenger seat.
But unfortunately, going back to Taylor's point was that.
Yep.
Go ahead, Taylor.
If there are pieces in the middle somewhere, you have to get to the
Oh,
piece.
trying,
Absolutely.
you girl.
Absolutely. So if something takes 20 hours to get to, we can't just do it for 2 hours worth of labor. It's
Yeah,
just-
Because then you
it's
also
not
gotta.
impossible.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, then because also you gotta put it all back together, right?
Right,
You're
right.
gonna
It's
pull
so-
it's
everything
just
out.
insane. It's insane.
And how many pieces break along that line? That's not our fault.
But the biggest thing that's
Because they were already at the.
the biggest thing that's so disappointing is that they know what's going to break.
But
You're
they
going
still
to
do
need a
it.
battery. You're going
Yeah.
to need an alternator. You're
You're
going to need
a starter.
starter.
Yeah.
But they just don't care.
No, they don't. They
But
don't.
anyway,
And then there you are, spending all the money.
that's
It
right.
is what it is, my friends. But he'll try to save it for you.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
he tries.
We're
He
dealing
already
with
told Taylor, I think I can save you a couple $100.
I know. As soon as
I'm
he
gonna
walked
try.
in.
I can't make you a promise, but I'm gonna try.
That is a line that we like to hear.
Yeah,
I can
it's like
save
we
you a
say,
couple $100.
yeah, I can't guarantee it, but it's worth the try. Because at the end of the day, the worst case scenario is this is what you need. But let me try this and see if it works.
Well, I loved the fact that you actually like purposely kind of overquoted me a little bit because I know like that's
People never like high prices. I try to
yeah, but I
overquote.
know that
And I'll
at
tell
the
you,
very,
I overquoted you.
you did at the very worst
Yeah,
of
this
that
is what it could be.
of that service problem that's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna pay, right?
Yeah.
It's not a game where
Yeah.
I walk in and thinking it's only gonna cost me X amount of dollars,
Yeah.
and then I walk in, I'm like,
Yeah,
It's
and
gonna
I
cost that
promise you,
much.
I could be that ass and still charge you that money.
no,
I
you walked
swear
in
to
today
you,
and you said, I
I
think I
will
can do it.
I won't.
Mm.
I
And
won't.
The other biggest problem why things are costing so much money to fix nowadays is the scan tools,
Oh my
the
God.
subscriptions,
Are we gonna go
even
there?
just the basic
I
tools.
cut that check every month.
We're going there, Liz.
The
Oh,
basic tools like
that hurts.
to do particular jobs.
We
they
can't
make
afford dinner.
certain
tonight
car
because of it.
companies- certain car companies are requiring special tools, other ones are not.
Yeah.
You know, those are all parts that are just keep
Mhm.
increasing the repairs, you know. And the biggest thing I really hate is that something costs you a lot of money. I really don't like that. I
He
really don't
sometimes
like
even
that
says,
because
why is that bill so high? I'm like, dude, look at how much this part is. And he's
Yeah,
like, are
well-
you serious? I'm like, yes. I'm not lying.
if I had my way, everything would be something so affordable, so that way
You
we
Wait
come
for the
back
Viera, people.
and I don't have to
Wait
look
for
at
the
you
Viera.
and I don't have to look like this at the
Brian wants to build a
supermarket
car.
going, geez, this cost them a lot of money to fix.
Brian, tell them about your car.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Lucas is getting very. Lucas is in the
Okay.
background. Nobody can see him, but he's part of the Viera.
So
But anyway, go ahead. I went off topic. I'm sorry. Brian's favorite ways to save money.
We have papers here. He's going through them as we go. So
He's
if
trying like
we
hell. Look
if
at
we
his
get
face.
off
He's trying so hard
topic,
to
he
be-
gets very upset.
no, I don't. Go ahead. Let's talk about what you want to talk about.
I think I forgot already.
Oh my God, I can't.
No, I don't.
What would you
No.
like to
So
know
here's a
about
good
this?
example. Andrea actually asked us because for Andrea for the past 3 weeks has had a check engine light.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
good point.
So she texted me. I said, you know what? It's not bad. I know you're busy getting your nails done, your toes, your hair. I get it. It's okay. So I said it's okay. But what makes our life a little harder is the longer you drive on that check engine light, it just produces more and more codes, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, at times it
Yeah,
can.
and
At
sometimes
times
we
it can.
kind of just have to erase and start over, which can be a little
Oh.
frustrating because you got to go a lot of back and forth.
Is that why I only had one code and now I have two?
Yes.
Oh, I have two codes.
Yes. So that's another reason. And don't drive if it's flashing, people. If it's flashing, pull over and shut it off. Okay.
Right away.
Right away.
Like a quick flash.
Not right away. So I'll
You'll
correct.
know if it's
I'm gonna
flashing.
I'm gonna correct her on that. So what sucks is, let's say you got to get home, you got kids, you got
Yes.
things you got to
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
Unfortunately, if it's flashing, what flashing means is that it can potentially cause damage to your catalytic converter. So
Which is
that
bad.
which
Oh,
is
yeah, that's
bad.
bad.
And
That's
that what it basically means when it's flashing like this is that it's a misfire.
We're
And
so
it-
Portuguese.
Yeah, it's the
flashing like
chicken
this.
dance, like
Yeah, the chicken dance.
Right. Basically,
With the
That's-
check engine light.
the song you just don't want to dance to.
Exactly.
But when you have the check engine light flashing, basically there's something wrong, and when it's flashing, that's usually means that it's going to cost you the most amount of money if you don't have it fixed right away.
True.
I'm not flashing. Don't worry.
I'm not flashing. I'm solid.
You solid girl.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not
Okay.
flashing. I just have two
Mhm.
codes now. But you're gonna take care of that next
Yes.
week.
Yes. We hope.
We hope.
You know
So
it's
so
Thanksgiving
the
week,
flashing
right?
thing can be
Yeah,
interpreted.
Yeah, I'm there on Tuesday, so back off.
Who's picking me up the next 2 weeks, guys?
Oh, shoot.
I don't know. She said flashing, and then I was confused. as to what.
Here we go.
And this
Can-
is the true
can
Ryan
we-
Vieira.
can
If
we
anybody
ever
knows
have-
him,
Can we ever have a normal podcast? Can we just talk about
then
car
why
repair?
would it be cupcakes and wine if it was normal?
Because we love cupcakes and we love wine.
But that's where you get into trouble.
Because
How much? Why not enough cupcakes?
Because we gain weight by eating the cupcakes and then feel guilty and then drink the wine
Oh,
and then
okay.
we drink more wine for eating the cupcake.
It is true. I did drink another glass.
See?
I know. I think I need another one.
Welcome
You
to
do?
God.
Would you like some whites? Oh, girl. Excuse me, people.
Watch out! You're just gonna be like,
Watch my white shirt.
look, we made a rosé.
Oh. Only a cupcake.
So we did have a comment. This is my parents'
Oh.
praise, you guys. He's very famous with the Portuguese community.
We are. Viva Foliva!
I'm done.
Who's praising us as Portuguese? Deej,
Janice's parents.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
very-
Janice. I just want to let you know, if you're watching, I wore these hoops for you. Because you know where I'm going with this, right? I wore these hoops for Janice. I thought of her when I put them on.
You know,
Well,
oops,
hoops
meaning.
are for.
I'm just saying.
We'll
But
talk
I
about it later.
love Sujza. He's such a nice person. Honestly, nice man. And we love the whole Cadero family.
That's me.
Too
I-
funny.
Another comment that came through.
There was actually a bunch of nice
Yeah.
ones.
Really? I'm so proud of you guys, not because Brian is my brother. Does you need to do anything to his car?
Who's this?
But he is amazing at what he does, and you will not be disappointed in the service you get at Amy's Auto.
Oh, that's my
Repair.
sister. Yeah.
Oh, Fifi. Thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, bless you, child.
That was to me sneezing.
Oh, well, bless Brian and Liz as well.
Bless you, child.
I think that was it. I think we,
Trisha
yeah,
loves you.
I think we got
Thank
back
you,
to
guys.
everyone.
Best mechanic.
Like I said, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's good to hear. It really is. It gets to you. It doesn't get to him because he's, I don't know.
Are you going to cry?
No.
No, then he would be drunk.
And
All I'm saying is, I'm sure glad you walk into Liz when you first walk into the building. Not
Can
Brian.
you imagine walking in to Brian? Can I help you?
So I would like to, I would like to say something.
go. Yes.
So that is
This is
another.
your podcast, you know.
Clearly,
I already got in trouble. So.
Yeah.
No, that's smart. She sees in
It's
the
very
corner.
comfortable though, walking
Drinking
in
my wine.
and being greeted by a female, because it can be a little uncomfortable when you walk
Really?
into a shop. Yeah.
Lord Lord help us.
Oh God.
What is
We
it?
can't put it right now. We'll talk about it
Oh,
later.
We
I'm
can't
sorry,
say
people.
It's
Maybe on
good.
YouTube. Check us out on YouTube, people. This is like recorded now.
Yeah,
Check
definitely.
us out on YouTube.
Oh, we're live on YouTube today,
Yeah?
right?
Oh, we
Yes,
are.
We're live on YouTube right now. Yes.
Yep, first day.
Yeah,
I meant to say
YouTube.
that in the beginning.
Wow. We did have wine before we came on here.
Big things popping for Cupcakes and
But
Wine.
at the end of the day, it's so important to just, to get back on
But
track.
Andrea was gonna say
I'm
something.
sorry, Andrea.
It's okay.
Go ahead. It's okay, babe.
Oh, I went there with the noise. I couldn't explain. I got teary-eyed out of frustration. Brian took the time
Can
to
I?
explain what it is.
Love-
They're
She's getting
awesome.
excited.
My
She
Isabel.
told me not to get.
I know, I did. I said, Brian, don't get excited because you get a little louder. Look at me now. I'm paying for my own words. But Isabel,
It's because they love. There's
love
lovers.
Isabel.
oh my God, Isabel. So can I tell her, Isabel, don't get mad at me. So Isabel one day came in a long time ago. And she's like, Liz, I got this noise. And I'm just like, Andrew, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
How do you
How
explain
do you know?
the noise? Like Isabel's like, it's like a squeaky bed. And I'm like, Mom, okay. Do you know what a squeaky bed is?
We've all been
Guess. It was a squeaky bed, but we didn't hear the squeaky bed, Isabel. I'm just saying. Just saying. What have you been doing in your car?
Oh boy.
Isabel? But no,
I
Isabel's
thought I
the
was
best.
red from the wine, but I think it's from this conversation.
Never. 6 feet, Brian. 6 feet.
Isabel's laughing. She's not mad. She said she's not mad.
Oh, thank you, Izzy. Aw, I love Isabel. She's so sweet.
Okay, if you guys don't mind, I would like to talk about my top ways
Your
to
top
save
what?
money. My top ways to save money.
Okay, you only
All right.
have 2 more minutes.
These are the
We're on
things.
Facebook. We're longer.
Oh,
These
Lord.
are the things that I see people struggling with that cost them a lot of money. Number one, if you only have one key, do yourself a favor,
Right.
get a second key.
You only have 1 key?
No, not anymore because I already
Oh.
messed up on that a long time ago.
You see, perfect example.
Yep, I broke it into
Right.
pieces. I couldn't drive for days.
Because
until
the
I got
problem-
a program.
That's it.
Because then they had to program it because
Oh,
it's all electric.
yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Taylor's exactly right.
Taylor lived the episode.
Right.
Yep.
And the biggest problem is now we're
So true.
approaching winter. Snow covers up your key, falls out of your pocket. You're not gonna find it. You could be upwards of a week to 2 weeks, depending on what
We
kind of
had a
vehicle you're
customer
in.
who waited, a week to a week and a half for a key. He was
Right.
literally
Jeez.
stuck at home.
Because some of these keys can only come from the
and this
manufacturer
is prior
themselves.
to COVID,
Yeah.
by the way.
And then
Right,
they have to
way
get
prior to
coded to
that.
the car.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
it's such a nightmare.
It's becoming a nightmare. So if you only have
can't
one
tow
key,
it.
No, you can't do anything because you
do
can't move the car.
anything. Exactly.
yeah, depending on where your vehicle is located.
Yeah.
Yep, been there. Okay.
So
Next
That's one of the ways that I'm going to say right now. If you have a second key made, you will save yourself a lot of grief.
Mhm.
Even if it's not an exact key, just get that key replaced.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, now I have like 4 of them. I'll never do that again. I swear to God. So bad.
So another thing that we see a lot is that people overlook the water leaks in your vehicle.
Oh, so important.
Yes. So
Get that musty, moldy smell in your car. Honestly, bring it
Right.
in and let us check it out. Here's the reason why. A lot of times you can go right through your insurance. All it's going to cost you is a deductible.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
it really is. As long as you can find the problem, they won't pay for the problem, but they will pay for anything that the problem has caused, which at the end of the day could be thousands. Because water, let me tell you, electrically can cause a lot of damage.
Especially with
a
all
lot.
these computers in these vehicles and all
And
of
that's
these.
what people want is more and more and more. You know what I mean? So self-driving vehicles, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
So another point we had mentioned was don't drive around when the check engine light is flashing like the chicken dance. I myself,
We
if
have
there's
to
a
dance
wedding,
the chicken dance
if there's
before
a
we
wedding,
leave.
I want to do the chicken dance. It's just me.
I bet you do, Brian.
But,
I'm actually not one bit
but if
surprised.
your car has the chicken dance,
Taylor will probably sit that
don't
one
keep
out.
driving it. It's going to cost you a lot
Put
of
that one
money in the
out.
long run.
Yes, yes.
What was another thing here, Liz? What would you say?
Stop bouncing around from shop to
Yeah,
shop.
that's actually a very important
It's
one.
just a way to get to know your car. When you start going from this place to that place to that place to that place, it's so hard to figure out what has been done, when it has been done, and what the hell was your original problem. Do you get what I mean? Like that, and again, that's where the expense comes in too, is because sometimes I'm not downing all of them, but sometimes people make things worse than what they were. So now you go to a shop who actually knows what they're doing and they're trying to figure it out. And it's like, hey, we need to get to your original problem, but this is causing a problem. We don't know if it's the problem.
Right.
You know, that's again a costly thing. So try to stick to one person that you know, that you trust, which I know is so hard, so hard. I know from personal experience. But at the end of the day, just try to find that place because it will save you lots of money. It really will.
And the other problem is with that is that a good shop, they're very busy.
Oh,
It's just like a good plumber, a good electrician. They're not going to have the time to fit you in because they got to deal with their top clientele first. So,
But if they love you, they always do look at your
right, that's right. So if
Taylor
you
calls in
establish
with that voice once in a while,
a relationship or a
and I
rapport,
fall for it.
And no, she does every time. Taylor, just bring
Right,
it by.
right.
That's all you got to do, people.
because there is going to be that fork in the road where you're going to need somebody to figure out that problem with your car, and you're going to have a tough time getting somebody to fix it. And we experience that on the daily because people want us to fit us in, and we have to tell them kindly, no, we can't.
We'd love to.
We
You
would
guys
love-
are
we would
I'm
love
that
to.
greenhorn. I'm that Portuguese. I don't want to say no to work, and neither does he. But it's like, what do you do?
And
Yeah.
you guys are. You're packed
What
with
do you
cars
do?
every time I
What
go
do
by
you do?
there.
Yeah,
Thank
you
God.
you have to. You really have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
You really have to keep that in mind. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, and this has nothing to do with mechanic shops at all, is that listen, if you have a car that's on the warranty, don't be afraid to ask your mechanic that you might have gone to years ago. But the most important thing is that, and we see this a lot, don't be afraid to try another dealership. A lot of times
Yes.
people will be like, well, this is the dealership closest to my house. You may have an issue where the dealership might not have that educated technician to fix that vehicle. So you might actually have to seek out another dealership that has somebody that has that knowledge. And one other thing that I really, really, really want to, I mean, I can't stress this enough, is that kindness overrules rudeness.
Don't come in with an attitude, people, please.
Right.
People give you guys attitude.
Not from
How?
ours, but from other
Not our
places.
regular customers.
Not our regular
and we
customers.
understand because
You're
Because that's so
frustrated.
nice.
people
You're
come in, they're
frustrated.
frustrated.
That makes
Their
me wanna eat a
their day
cupcake.
was
Just
ruined.
thinking about it.
Right. Their day was ruined because their car wasn't running right or they got stranded. But listen,
It wasn't your fault.
No,
No.
it isn't our fault. And
And you're trying to fix it.
we're trying to fix it.
You'd be amazed.
And a lot of times, believe it or not, just a little bit of kindness will extend a warranty on something.
Yeah.
You know? So that's something that we can't stress enough. Like, listen, just be polite. Be careful with your wording. Don't be like, you owe this to me. Just be like, look, this is the issue I had over the weekend. What could you do for me? And if you were on the warranty, then give the person help. But
Yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
not, if you just go that extra little step to be kind, be careful with your wording, they most likely will go out of their way
To
To
help
treat-
you.
to treat you
Absolutely.
to treat you right and try to get something more.
Just think about it. You come in with negativity, you're gonna get
Right.
negativity.
And I say that all the time.
Yes, and that's why I said it. Because what do you say
Absolutely.
all the time in the shop?
Right. If you come in with the negativity, we're gonna have negative outcomes.
Yes.
If you come in with a little bit of a positive,
And he says that
Energy,
all the time.
a little bit of a
We're
neutral
going to
energy,
have a
we're gonna
good
have
day.
a positive outcome.
Yes.
So if
Positive energy goes a long way with you, Brian.
Yes.
In
It
all
really
aspects,
does.
not
Truly
even
believe.
just
It
in your
really does.
mechanic.
Truly believe.
because if
truly
you're already
believe.
coming into it that we're not gonna have anything positive.
This
coming
shit's
out
gonna
of
hit the
this.
fan.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad. It's
Yeah.
gonna be bad.
Don't even bother.
Stay home.
Right.
Positive attitudes only at Amy's Auto Repair.
Yes.
Thanks,
Right,
guys.
right.
Yes. We do some jokes once in a while.
Right. And
Once in
it
a while, you
has-
might come in and see somebody
And it has
grabbing.
nothing. It has nothing to do with just us. It's just dealing
even
with
kidding.
people.
A bit.
It has a lot to do with dealing with people in general. If you just
Yeah.
try to talk polite and try to be careful with your wording, and that a lot of times people will extend their hand to you and be like, "Let me pull you over that edge.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to make this correct for you."
Absolutely.
So we do have a few comments. I
of
don't want
course.
to. mess
No,
up your train
please
of
don't
thought.
don't interrupt Brian.
I don't know.
I know how it is because when I get to talking about something, someone interrupts me. I get
That's
mad.
why I raise my hands now,
I
guys.
get mad real quick. Make sure you call Liz by 8:30. She'll answer all your questions.
I'm sorry, people. I'm always late.
Yes, that's true because she actually has to drop off Lucas in the morning, and it does suck. Like there is some reality to all this.
But the past 2 weeks, I have not.
but I have been telling her for years, listen, you need to let go and try to hire somebody that can help us.
Nobody can do what I can do. Okay.
That's just the part of it.
That might be true.
I actually think it's true.
I'm
I don't
just
think
saying.
I don't think I would sit there for as long as I do if
I
it
love
wasn't
it
for
when
Liz.
people sit in the office.
I
even
do
though I only
stay.
have 2 chairs.
The worst part is I could totally walk home because I live 3 seconds away from
But
you.
why would you when you can hang out with me?
I could stay with you and talk.
It's really sometimes okay. There's some entertainment in the show.
I totally love.
sometimes.
Oh, I've been meeting all kinds of fun people.
Yes, yes.
We do have a loyal since 2013
Vinny?
best shop ever. Vinny Rogers.
Was that what was there with me?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think Paul is joking. Maybe. Are you picky on what make and model vehicle you
No.
work
No,
on?
no, we are not.
no, we're
Actually,
not.
that's a funny
That's a
subject.
good question, actually.
That actually is a very good subject. So for
Yeah.
years, I've spent a lot of money on technology to actually support a lot of different makes and models out there. Because my motto has always been, I'm not going to service a particular make and model. I'm going to service a good customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a good customer may own multiple makes.
Yeah,
So if they're good to me, I'm going to try my best.
absolutely.
And if there isn't something that I can do, I'm going to make sure I send them to the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have I'll never forget the headlight Brian reprogrammed for a BMW. BMW wanted $3,000 for a new headlight. Brian fixed it for a fraction of the price. He's the best.
Oh, who was that?
That was Blake Estrella.
Blake! What up, dog?
I love it. Let's get so excited as everyone.
I do. I get so excited when people
Thank you, Blake.
comment. Thank you, Blake.
I'm far from the best, but I really do try.
See,
I
Let
really
yourself
do
have
try
it,
my
Brian.
best.
Let yourself have it.
I tell him all the time.
I am not. the
Literally,
best.
for my father
there-
to be like, just go. My dad doesn't even look at the
But
car anymore. He just
There
goes,
are
go to
guys.
Brian.
There
That's
are
awesome.
there are guys that are far better than I am. I will admit that, but I do try my best.
He does. He really does.
And then Liz loves when I visit with Bentley.
Yeah, that's true. We love.
Trisha,
We
it's been a
we,
while.
We do love our dogs. We do love our dog
We love
customers.
when you bring your dogs. We
And-
have doggy treats and everything.
And lately, when they come in, I do make it a point to try to make a post with them and say that they're waiting for
Yeah.
the vehicles.
We
That
even,
is one of my
did we
favorite
not
things.
find
And
a
cats.
stray?
I messed up Friday night. We did have a cat in the shop.
We
I did
did?
mess up. Yes, we did. Remember the beautiful white cat that came in?
Oh, yes.
I did mess up. We were supposed
It
to be
was
out. It
Jen's-
was after hours.
Yep.
I did mess up. That was going to be my first cat post. She was beautiful.
She
So,
was so.
I'm not going to say that I only like dogs. I love cats, and I
Yes.
love.
He's an animal lover to deal with all these animals around here.
If I had my way, I
Sorry.
would own a lion.
If you looked at our page, we even found a stray dog just walking up Earl Street. And we even had a customer in the shop
Aw.
saying, I will take her, and
Right.
took her to Forever Paws, which is a non-kill shelter, by the way.
Yes, it
And
is.
she found a home.
But there
See,
is
we save the animals
And they're
too.
saving animals.
there is one other thing talking about how I'm not the best and everything. There is one last subject that I would like
Lord
to touch
help
upon.
us.
No, it's the
ahead.
truth though. I would like to talk about identifying a good repair shop because we may not
True,
be able to
true.
accommodate you. And there are, I'll be honest with you, there are a few of my friends that own repair shops. They are top notch. I'm not going to deny that.
Yes.
And I want to go over how to identify what's a good repair shop, if that's okay with you, Andrea.
It's okay with me.
Why don't you ever ask Taylor?
I'm just here.
Andrea's closer, so
Yeah.
I'm intruding her 6 feet space, so I have to get her permission.
I say yes to everything.
I love Taylor.
So identifying a good shop, I like a shop that prioritizes the repairs. Okay, every shop wants to sell you a brake job. They want to sell you
the easy stuff.
the easy stuff.
They
But
don't
if
wanna-
they tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, that's a shop that I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah.
It's true.
So before they go ahead and jump into the brakes, there could be something critical going on with your car that might say, hey, this thing's at the end of the road, right? It could be anything, whether it's a rotted frame or a broken motor mount or just something. Now, that is a good shop to me. A shop that is excellent will say to you, look, you definitely need brakes, but they could go another month, but this thing is gonna make your car break in half. That is a shop that I have all the respect for. And now another shop that I have respect for is they don't scare you. They don't say, oh, if you don't get this done right now, you're gonna crash into a brick wall and kill everybody at Walmart. And you're gonna take out all the people at Subway at the same time, and you're really never gonna get that.
Walmart and Subway's next to each other.
There's a Subway in the Walmart.
Oh, yes.
And I promise you're never gonna get that spicy Italian you've been waiting for
Ever again.
So
Not
those
baloney.
not baloney. That was the other subject.
Not baloney.
Okay, maybe we'll trade.
Chicken. But the Stop and Shop brand is so much better.
Okay, so we're naming names, but we.
We
so
are obviously
anyway,
hungry.
Yeah, it's dinner time.
if they scare you, and we've seen this happen, even at cars that come from dealerships, your car is gonna catch on fire, and it's like, no way, man, it's just not gonna happen. You know, if they try the scare tactics, even if it's me, get a second opinion. Get a second opinion. It's no different. I cannot stress this anymore. It is no different than the medical industry.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot.
We need our cards just as much as we need our
Shit,
bodies.
man, if you have any more questions, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty impressed.
Loyal since 2004. John Gone. Is that Gone?
Oh, thank you, Johnny boy.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Like, there's different ways to say it. Like
Yeah.
Gonzalez, Goncals,
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. No, there's different ways.
John, I got your back.
This is Fall River. There's like 59 different ways to say Gonzalez.
Right.
But yeah, you guys covered a lot.
I think we
else?
covered a lot.
Anything else that you want
I mean, we
to
even
mention?
had Ramen here last week, and he loves his cars,
my
and he even said he had
God.
different
Oh, yeah,
cars.
yeah.
Ron has
So-
some
I
sweet
like Ron.
cars.
Oh, I have been dying to try.
You got that
I'm-
new Mercedes.
I'm-
oh my god.
That every day I'm like, do you want me just to swing it around real quickly?
Oh my god, it's so nice.
He's like, no, I
and
will
by the
not.
way, I'm not just throwing this as a plug. St. James.
Opening again tomorrow. So we did last week. Last week, Andrea asked, "Have any employees?"
like,
Andrea was like, "Ron, did we get anybody? Has anybody
Yeah.
tested positive for
Sorry,
COVID?"
Ron.
Unfortunately, this weekend we did have an employee test positive for COVID, but Ron shut shit down right away.
yeah.
He called everybody, made sure everyone in direct contact went and got tested.
We were just saying outside if you were even comfortable in coming
He
into work.
he called
That's
me this morning. I
amazing.
normally work
Amazing.
Tuesdays. He gave me a call and he was like,
yeah.
"We are gonna open. We sanitized twice, cleaned on Monday, cleaned
Yep.
everything, from kitchen utensils to bottles
Yep.
to everything."
Perfect.
And I gotta
And
admit,
he was like, "Are you comfortable coming in with all this? If
Yeah.
you're not, it's cool." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Of course."
and I gotta admit, I have been a big fan of Ron's,
Yeah.
and we haven't missed a week in
Except this week, huh?
the longest time.
We
No,
were,
we went-
a
we went-
tiny a bit upset that we couldn't get fish
We
tacos
went-
this Saturday.
So
I'm
what
just
we
saying.
did is we went this week before the weekend hit.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so you
technically
got
we
it
haven't
in. You got
missed.
it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we picked up the order. We got it in.
we got it in.
We got it in, Tay.
Um,
That's all I care about.
We're a big fan of Ron, and Ron does run an
Yeah.
outstanding outfit.
He
because
did it. He did a great
Yeah.
job. He handled this
Yeah.
Like I
he
said-
put everyone else's safety before.
Good.
Yes,
anything.
absolutely. And I mentioned this on the last podcast, is that I do have friends with health issues, and they trust going to St. James, and that place is clean. That place is clean, and the food is great.
Yeah. So back open tomorrow at 11. I'm there during the day, so come visit us.
And
might
one
be
other
there.
thing is the prices are exceptional.
And he won't touch him
Yes, they
either.
are.
He won't touch him.
They are.
Girl, the prices are unbelievable.
It's the only place I know I can take as many shots as I do and still end up.
See?
Yeah,
See?
they are. They are.
See? But yeah, I don't know. I think we did okay. I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, car
I
talk
hope
can
it
be a
wasn't
little
too
boring.
boring.
Yeah, it is a
Yes.
little boring.
I know.
It's a little serious.
These girls held it together pretty well, so thank you.
Well, you
Yeah.
guys kept it pretty interesting, actually. I'm not
I
gonna
hope.
lie.
I hope.
But
And everybody likes to save money.
one
Yes.
thing that's pretty cool that I'm going to mention to you guys before we go is, believe it or not,
What are
right?
you, what are you
What's he
taking
whipping out of his pocket?
Car companies are,
Oh,
you're going
yeah.
to see this, and I'm going to be right, and you guys are going to say, no
You're
way,
wrong.
Jose. This thing is going to be the most interactive tool with your car.
Well, now they have those.
Hyundai starts up your car and unlocks your
This is
car.
going to
With your
start
phone.
your car. This is going to be the
What is
key
it?
to your
Connected
car.
cars? It's
Yeah.
calling it. When
Right.
I was over at Fun,
So
they were
what do
already...
you do when your
Cars-
phone is stolen?
Yeah.
What do you do?
If
And
somebody-
somebody
Like
gets
a
in.
Find My iPhone. It'll be Find My
You know
Car.
what?
But what if they start up your car and take off with it?
I'm the most careless person,
It's terrible.
but I'm telling you guys, this right here,
There's also like an old
this thing
school
right
keypad.
here is going to be the key to your whole life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The car companies want to make this your whole life.
Yep.
And it's going to
They
be.
will be.
You guys can't be as careless as I am. When you leave that thing on the table, take
All
it
the
with
time.
you. Take it with
How many
you.
times have you lost a phone, cracked a phone?
Oh, yeah.
How many times have
This is-
customers taken off and his phone is in the car?
And the worst part is, this is going to open your house. This is going to do everything.
Right.
It's true.
So you're going to have to be paranoid. Or do like I did. I always lose my wallet, so I put a chain on my wallet, and somehow
Still lost it.
the wallet with the chain ripped right off my pants. So even if I put a chain to this thing, I promise you I'll still lose it because
Liz, not only keeping the business together, but keeping Brian together.
Every
right?
day of my life
It's so
with a
funny.
smile. I don't mind taking care of him. He's all right.
Oh, you two are my favorite.
But one last piece of business before we get off is that I truly want to say thank you to everybody who supports me and they support my shop.
Absolutely.
You are truly family members. You are not just customers or clientele in my shop.
Your family.
Because
Absolutely.
You feel like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
oh my
of
God,
you-
I said that right from the beginning.
Bec-
Family.
because of you, I have a roof over my head. Because of you, I have shingles on my roof. It's the truth.
And we're getting a new bathroom.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I can't say thank you enough. I
Yeah,
truly do not look
absolutely.
at people like their clientele. I look
Mhm.
at people like they need my help, and I will try my best to help them.
Yes.
And as a single female, single mother, I would also highly suggest you go there for
Thank you,
for,
Taylor. Thank
for a bunch of
you.
reasons, like not being ripped off and not feeling like
Yeah,
an
I just
idiot
wanna
when you
make
walk
sure-
out when you drive
Yeah,
away.
we definitely make sure you want to understand. I will make sure you understand whether you want to
See,
or not.
and I'm understanding.
Yes, yes. But thanks, girls.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
guys
guys.
for coming
Took
on.
long enough to get us on here, but we got on.
They got
Yeah.
on. They got
They
on.
got on.
Kicking and fighting.
Kicking
We
and
had
fighting
to
is
chase
right.
you guys for
And a
little
couple
while.
bottles and a couple bottles of wine.
Hey, next time, can we just throw a party
Sure.
Yeah.
live?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can
Yeah.
we?
He'll say yes. He's
Yes,
saying yes.
Lucas, you're invited.
He says yes to everything.